First came the crash, then the explosion, and the biggest blow of all, the towing bill. The owner of a local company is crying foul, saying she was charged way too much to clean up the wreckage after one of her trucks got into an accident on the freeway.
Well, the towing company involved is Boulevard in Trumbull, and this is not the first time someone has questioned their charges. 7 Action News investigator Scott Lewis looked into the bill and found some questionable charges. Scott?
What makes these cases especially troubling is that the company that's cleaning up and cashing in is under contract with the Michigan State Police, and they have a monopoly on freeways inside the city of Detroit. Boulevard in Trumbull is owned and operated by Gasper Fiore, a politically connected guy with a slew of government contracts. Now a second business owner is accusing this company of gouging. Last December, a semi belonging to Aero Chemical Products jackknifed, slammed into the median, exploded and burned, sending chunks of concrete into the opposite lane.
It sounded like a bomb.
It was a spectacular crash. Aero Chemical owner Nancy Wallace was shaken when she heard about the accident, but relieved to find out that nobody was hurt. The real shocker came when she got the towing bill from Boulevard and Trumbull Towing.
My jaw hit the ground. I couldn't even believe what I was hearing.
I'll tell you what the bottom line was in a minute, but if this feels like a bit of deja vu, there's a reason. 2 months ago, the 7 Action News investigators exposed a similar case involving this horrific chain reaction crash on I-75. A whiteout caused the pileup that left 3 people dead. Jamie Redmond's semi was near the head of the crash and suffered relatively minor damage, and she was stunned when she got the bill from Boulevard and Trumbull for towing her truck just 3 miles to their storage yard. It was more than $10,000.
I think that they're trying to profit off of a horrible accident.
But Nancy Wallace says she would have been thrilled to have a $10,000 bill. She called Boulevard and Trumbull to get the bottom line so her insurance company could cut them a check.
And he said 26. I said, okay, great. I'll have them write a check for $2,600. And he said, no, no, no. $26,000.
That's right, $26,000 to haul away a semi that wasn't even overturned. When Wallace started studying the bill, she found some things that looked fishy. They charged her for 4 hours of work, but the accident happened just before 2 p.m.
By slightly after 4 o'clock, the highway was completely reopened, traffic flowing in both directions.
And something else that didn't quite add up. They charged her $1,200 for a hazmat scene manager. Hazmat means hazardous materials.
There was nothing hazardous on the truck. It was water-based concrete cleaners.
And Wallace says not a drop of cleaner spilled. Boulevard and Trumbull did use a loader and a dump truck to scoop up big chunks of concrete, but how could that take 4 hours? And what really stuck in Wallace's craw was this charge, more than $2,000 for a street sweeper.
The only street sweeper my guy saw was a gentleman pushing a broom.
To get to the bottom of this, we tracked down the man in this picture who handled the job for Boulevard and Trumbull. He's since left the company, and we caught him on his way into work at his new job.
Is that you in the picture?
Yep.
The reason I wanted to talk to you is you were there, you did the work, right?
Yep.
How about a street sweeper? Did you have a street sweeper down there?
I didn't see one, and I didn't know we had one.
Really?
If that's what you're asking.
And did you clean the debris up with a broom and a shovel?
Do I look like I push a broom?
Did somebody do it?
Yeah.
Remember, Aero Chemical was billed for 4 hours of work and equipment. The man who was on the scene confirms he was only there for about 2 hours.
Did you need a hazmat scene manager? There was only soap on the truck.
Really, Scott? You know I can't say nothing about that.
Boulevard and Trumbull declined to go on camera. Instead, they issued a written statement. And that statement doesn't even address the specific discrepancies we found in the bill to Aero Chemical. The statement says, Boulevard and Trumbull Towing adheres to and follows industry standards as a qualified first response, heavy-duty towing recovery, and incident management specialist. We stand by our billing and conduct ourselves with dedication and professionalism 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. With more than 30 years of experience, we've been recognized and commended for our work across the metropolitan Detroit area, the state, and the nation. But these two business owners don't see it that way, and what really irks them is that they had no choice but to use Boulevard and Trumbull Towing. The company has a contract with the Michigan State Police, giving them exclusive towing rights on all freeways within the city limits of Detroit. And the contract doesn't spell out what they can charge for the services.
I think that the state of Michigan should be ashamed that they're allowing this to go on.
But I've learned the state police are now planning to tighten things up. Just last week, towing contractors were called to the state police post in Oak Park. MSP is putting towing contracts out for rebidding on all Detroit area freeways, and a lot of companies will be bidding. State Police Lieutenant Mike Shaw tells me the new contracts will have set prices for towing on area freeways. That's something they haven't had in the past. A towing contractor who attended that meeting told me he thinks these new fixed prices will protect consumers from being gouged and still allow towing companies to turn a fair profit. It'll be interesting to see which companies land these new contracts. I'm Scott Lewis, 7 Action News.